All right, Bears fans, I want you to prove it to me. How badly do you want Justin Fields back next year? If you want him back next year, hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free, and if you've already subscribed, just type sub in the comments so I can know that you're backing QB1. Well, Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears pull off another blockbuster trade involving the number one pick. That is the million-dollar question. Welcome to Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham. Is a report from ESPN.com. Jeremy Fowler and Courtney Cronin combining to really talk about a lot of stuff. I'd recommend you go read this. Wanted to hit on a few of those things in today's show, though, and the main headline from this is that if the Bears decide to trade the number one pick again this year, they believe that the haul would be even bigger than last year's one was, and we will remind you of what that haul was in just a moment. Here's a little bit from Fowler and Cronin. If the Bears traded the first pick, the return could be immense. Several executives agree Chicago could net more than it did in the Panthers trade, and from a prospective trade partner already picking in the top 5. Think about that. They traded down to 9 last year. Those execs believe the price to get number one could be 2 future first rounds on top of this year's first-round pick, along with the variation of a day 2 pick and or a premium veteran player on a manageable contract. I just want you to digest that again real quick. They are reporting that a trade down from the number one pick, but to still stay in the top 5, could net you more than what you got from Carolina last year. Let's revisit that trade. Here's what the Bears got a year ago. They got number 9 overall pick, number 61 overall pick in last year's draft. They got a first in this year's draft, which turned into the number 1 pick. Obviously, didn't know that was going to happen, but still. And a second in the following year's draft, 2025. Oh, and DJ Moore, who has 1,300 yards this year. And they're saying you could get more than that, but still potentially be picking in the top 5. That was the trade down to number 9. So that is pretty fascinating. Obviously, you think about Washington, New England, and New York as 3 teams that could be picking in the top 5. Could you imagine trading down to 3, 4, or 5, getting multiple future first-round picks plus more, and then you still maybe get Marvin Harrison or at least Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze? Atlanta Falcons, Las Vegas Raiders, Denver Broncos, teams you'd have to move down further. I mean, imagine how much they would potentially have to give up if this report is accurate. The point is regardless of what the exact value is, and we don't know for sure until a trade actually happens, is there is big appeal to trading down. And I get it. There's a group of people that want Caleb Williams, and it's not even that I don't want Caleb Williams, but you cannot deny the amount of capital and more roster-building assets you could get if you do trade this number 1 pick once again. If you're Ryan Poles and you can get 3 first-round picks plus more, whether it's another player, whether it's a day 2 pick, which is what was being reported as well, it's going to be hard to pass up, man, versus drafting a quarterback you're hoping is an upgrade from Justin Fields. You've got to be pretty convicted if you do decide to go the quarterback route, which we'll talk a little bit more about later on in this episode. Should the Bears trade the number 1 pick? If you think they should keep it, type K for keep. If you think they should trade it, type T for trade. Pen comment on today's show. Should they keep the number 1 pick or trade it? Let us know during this YouTube ad break. More from Courtney Cronin and Jeremy Fowler. Difficult decision ahead when it comes to that number 1 pick and when it comes to Justin Fields. They report that Justin Fields has made the Bears' offseason quarterback decision difficult. Here's the quote here. A front office source said Fields, quote, special playmaking has, quote, absolutely made the Bears' quarterback decision for April's draft more difficult. Issues of team chemistry will play a role, and the Bears will evaluate the totality of Fields' performance in Chicago. That includes the impact of supporting cast that has not always been a compliment during his 3 seasons, especially in his first 2 years and really in year 2 in particular when Ryan Poles did a full roster teardown, which, look, it has paid off, I think. You've seen how quick the turnaround has already started. Now, I did want to add this too, and I'm not sure where I fall on this, but Jeremy Fowler said that Fields will fetch a 2nd or 3rd round pick based on what he's heard. If it's a 3rd, I mean, that's pretty underwhelming if I'm being honest. I got to think you're getting at least a 2nd, but we'll see. I mean, maybe the value's a tick less if the Bears do make it clear they're drafting a quarterback. You always wonder how that plays out, but there has been progress here. Look, I wanted the completion percentage to be a little bit higher. It hasn't. There's been some drops problems. Fields misses some throws. We know that. But I do think he's done a better job of taking care of the football. Remember, 2 of those 9 interceptions are those BS Hail Marys at the end of the Browns game. So it's really just 7 picks this year. He has made strides. Now, did he make the Josh Allen year 3 type of leap, or even the type of leap Jalen Hurts made last year? Not necessarily, but those 2 players also have had better pieces around them throughout their careers, and I do think Fields has done a lot of things that would give you pause to trade him when you could get so much that you could get for the number 1 overall pick. Like, I don't view this isn't like the Jets moving on from Sam Darnold. Like, Justin Fields is a starting quarterback in this league. Is he a Super Bowl quarterback? I don't know. That's kind of the question you have to ask and consider when you evaluate all this stuff if you are Ryan Poles. More on this in just a moment, but we do have to show some love to our sponsor, Game Time. They are known for hooking you up with last-minute tickets for the best prices available. Only 1 game left in the season for the Chicago Bears, but tickets, if you want to make the trip to Lambeau Field, are available. That top one available right there, by the way. You got to buy it in a bunch of 2, but you get pretty good seats for about $400 in total cost there, which is pretty good value for a high-stakes rivalry game coming up at Lambeau Field. You can also pay via Venmo, so if you got some leftover fantasy football money or something floating in there like I do half the time, that's nice as well. It doesn't feel like you're spending as much, even though it is money, obviously. How about Bulls fans? Bulls fans out there got a lot of home games coming up here in the coming days and weeks. Prices available right there as well. Bulls have been playing some good basketball. Last-minute deals, best tickets available. You want to wake up this Sunday, decide you want to drive up to Lambeau Field, use promo code BearsChat after you download the Game Time app and get the best prices available. It is Game Time. That's code BearsChat after downloading the Game Time app today. Search Game Time in your app store. Promo code BearsChat, $20 off. Last-minute tickets for the lowest price, guaranteed with Game Time. This, to me, is what the number 1 pick decision is. If you draft a quarterback number 1 overall, versus trading for 2 to 3 first-round picks, possibly more, premium player, et cetera, depending on how far you trade down, obviously, you better be getting a quarterback that you think can lead you to a Super Bowl. And you must think that Justin Fields can't, because the value you can get in trading down from number 1 just seems monstrous. It seems bigger than last year. And how much has that trade down paid off already, bringing in a guy like DJ Moore, who we'll talk about in a minute? You get Darnell Wright. Tyreek Stevenson was a result of that pick. Like, yeah, you got to hit on the picks you trade, but Ryan Poles has hit on a lot of these picks, man. You're seeing player development here. So imagine doing that again, getting first-round pick next year, maybe one in 2026. You could have 2 first-round picks in each of the next 3 drafts if you play this properly and decide to trade down. So if you don't, you better not miss, because if you miss, if you draft a quarterback, that could be a fatal error in this rebuild that Ryan Poles has gotten off to a pretty good start on, if we're being completely honest. Okay, DJ Moore continues to sound off and make the case for Justin Fields as this team's quarterback moving forward. He was on Mully and Hagen this morning, a 670 the score, and here's what he had to say. He said, he's him. I want him to be the quarterback. I said what I said. Now it's on the higher-ups. It's up to them. That's pretty interesting that he straight up pointed to the front office and was like, hey, man, y'all know how I feel. It's up to y'all. Now, producer Roley actually asked us, hey, is he going to throw a fit if they do draft the quarterback? I don't think so. DJ Moore is a pro. He's one of these rare elite receivers that doesn't have a major ego, so he's going to be a pro and be a good player and teammate regardless, but he has been very firm for about a month now on what he wants. He wants Justin Fields to be the quarterback. That's sending a message, man. When you actually point out, hey, it's on the higher ups. And he said after the game, when asked about the "We Want Fields" chants echoing in Soldier Field, he said, oh, we heard it, and we know it's right near the owner's box as well. So, he's sending a message like, hey, man, we as players want him. The fans want him. Let's bring him back. DJ Moore and several other players, by the way, have been very vocal and clear about that fact. And, look, it makes sense for DJ Moore. This guy's had a rocky journey in terms of quarterbacks he's had to play with in the NFL. He played with all kinds of quarterbacks in Carolina, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, PJ freaking Walker for a little while. Like, he's had some garbage QB play, and now he's played with, whether or not you think it's a franchise QB or not, at least a quarterback he's built incredible chemistry with, and he's had career highs in receptions, yards, and touchdowns this year playing with Justin Fields. And had Fields not missed a month with an injury, it's probably a 1,500-yard season for DJ Moore. The point is that this locker room wants Justin Fields. Most of the fan base wants him. Every time I put a poll out on Twitter, on this channel, YouTube community tab, whatever, it's about 80-20 that you guys want to keep Justin Fields. And I understand. And these players, I would say it's close to unanimous. And that if you blindly asked these players, hey, do you think we should keep Justin Fields draft quarterback? I think they would almost all, if not everyone, say keep their quarterback. And I get you're going to back your guy, but this feels different. This is like people going out of their way. DeMarcus Walker going on Twitter, that's my quarterback. Darrington Evans, who's not on the team anymore, advocating for the Bears to keep Justin Fields. Like, this guy is extremely well-liked and respected. They appreciate the toughness and work ethic that he plays with. So the point is this would not be a popular decision if they traded Justin Fields. Doesn't mean it wouldn't be the right one. We don't know how it would play out, but it would not be popular, especially in the short term. Show Justin Fields some love. Get the JF1s going in the comment section down below if you want to show love to QB1. And hey, you don't have to show hate to Caleb Williams or Drake May. If one of those guys becomes this team's quarterback, we're going to support him as well. But this is a strong push from this Bears team to keep their quarterback. By the way, it's Packers Hate Week. We're going to be taking a look at this matchup tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But FGB's in the comments all week long. FGB, FGB, F Green Bay. Got to knock them out of the playoffs. Let's go. More content to come throughout the week. Bear down.